Hi everyone, Jacqueline Kuhn here with JacquelineKuhn.com, powered by angels. We have an Angels and Astrology video extra today where we're going to be talking about Archangel Shamuel and Uranus moving direct into Taurus. It's a pretty big energy shift, and it's kind of going to complement the energy shift we saw with Neptune and the energy shift that we're in, with Pluto and Aquarius, because whenever these outer planets move, and they move slowly and then they remain in them for quite a while, it's really signifies major shifts. And like all outer planets, some people don't experience these certain transits at all because it takes them, 100+ years to be in a transit. And so many people don't even live through one. So let's get started. First of all, for those of you who aren't familiar with me, I teach, guide, and coach about 15 archangels, three of which are not tied to the zodiac: Michael, Raphael, and Haniel. The others I do tie to the zodiac signs that most closely align with their energies. We start with Ariel, who is Aries. We end with, Pisces and Archangel Sandalphon. And they're tied because of the gifts that they bring and the energies of that zodiac sign. Now, there isn't one way to look at this. There are people that look at it in different ways. This is the way I have learned, chosen, and have been guided to communicate to you. So if there are other ways or other people who look at it a little differently, that's great. If it works for them, I bless them, as long as they're interacting with the angels and with God and in a positive, highest and best nature. That is wonderful. This is just the way I have been communicated and provided downloads on how to view them. The drawings of the archangels are a collaboration that I have with an artist by the name of Via. My idea is her drawing, but these are unique to me, so you won't be seeing them anywhere else. Right now, when we look at the planets and their placements, we have an awful lot in Aquarius, a couple, a Cancer, a couple in Cancer, Aries, Pisces, and now we've got Uranus that's moving direct into Taurus. It has been retrograde for quite some time. So let's really first talk about the retrograde, what that means, what was going on when it occurred, and then we'll talk about the shift in energy as it moves direct. So in general, retrogrades are when planets move backwards, right? Normally planets move in the direction of the zodiac signs, but when they're in retrograde, they move back. And because it's a moving backwards, it's a right? Retrograde. You take the RE, right? It's really looking at reviewing, revising, reminiscing, all of the words, looking back on things, focusing on beliefs, on feelings, and really emotions come to the surface. So when planets are in retrograde and we're reviewing all of these things in our lives, depending on what planet and where they are, it brings up a lot of emotion. And so when retrograde seasons occur, you can expect for things to get more emotional than normal. Now, Uranus and its retrograde path. So back in September of last year, it went retrograde into Gemini. And then it went back retrograde into Taurus on November 7th. So it spent a couple of months in Gemini before retrograding back even further into Taurus. And this moving direct into Taurus now is the final Uranus and Taurus review, right? It's the final cycle before it shifts into Gemini. And so we're really concluding this Uranus and Taurus cycle. And so now that it's direct, the Taurian energy that was blocked before under Uranus is now opened up. And we have a couple of months to work with this energy before it shifts into Gemini for an extended period of time, which will happen at the end of April. And it's going to be a pretty significant change. And we'll talk about that in April. So you'll want to tune in a couple of months for that. But I just wanted to make you understand that it's been retrograde for a while, and it was in two retrograde cycles. So the things that Uranus impacts have been stalled ever since September of last year. Stalled in two different ways, once under Gemini and then once under Taurus. Now, even though it moves in stations direct today, and I'm recording this on the 25th, on the 4th of February. I'm recording this on the 4th of February. Even though it stations direct today, because it is a slower moving planet, 2 to 3 weeks after today. So you're kind of looking at February, 16 to the 27 is really when you're going to feel this energy shift most dramatically. This is when things that have been stalled will move forward. Opportunities, unexpected opportunities will appear. People could be surprising you, and revealing their true intentions, or actually doing mea culpas. Things will happen more quickly. Your timelines are going to be speeding up. Your evolution has been blocked with Uranus being in the areas that Uranus actually covers. And so now that block has been lifted and removed, and it kind of gives, this green light, this go, time to move. But so if you're not feeling it today or tomorrow, you'll begin to feel this lift, but really in 2 to 3 weeks. So beginning with like February 16, 17, 18-ish, and the following week is when you're really going to feel this push. So as we talk about the energy shift, it's really getting ready for that big push, for when it happens, and you can feel it. And there's a couple of things, because it's direct in Taurus, we have opportunities. And I heard an astrologer once say that when these planets, particularly the outer planets, transition, it's really a gift. Think of it as a gift. Think of it as an opportunity to help you evolve, help you advance, help you get to that next level that you've been trying to get to. So think of it as a gift, not a barrier. The first one is really the shift from internal upheaval, where, gnashing through things internally, to externally breaking through. This is a time for breakthroughs where you're like, God, I just couldn't get that done. And so what you want to do in the next couple of weeks is journal about, where have you been feeling stuck? Where have you been feeling that you've been blocked from moving forward? And if you think about Taurian things, it's money, home, things of this earth, right? Things, the material things, in your life. Where have you been stuck? Time to kind of take a look at that, so that you can, when the energy, the big power of the energy lifts, you can feel you can move forward. Another Taurian theme is sort of, when is a rebellion, right, against being stagnant, not moving forward. And so you may feel that you have some impatience with things moving too slowly, or you feel this need to like break out from anything that has been draining you. So you want to ask yourself, where have you been feeling trapped? So where have you been feeling trapped? What has, is it your job? Is it your home? Is it something about your home that maybe needs a repair and you've been doing workarounds for the last couple of weeks, like that drippy faucet that you've never gotten fixed? Now's the time, as this Taurian energy, right? It's all about things of this earth. Where have you feel that it's been trapping you, where you feel you have no options, where you will now? Um, You'll also be able to take advantage of some really physical shifts in the way your body is signaling. Because Taurus is a body-centered sign, right? Because it's matter, it's of this earth, it's your body, it's not your spirit, it's your body. And your body is going to signal what needs to change. Paying attention to what your body is telling you. Maybe it's your sleep patterns, right? Maybe you're not sleeping as much. Maybe you're sleeping too much. Maybe all of a sudden you get these little bursts of energy and you're like the Energizer Bunny and then you like crash, right? What about you may have a desire to change your appearance, your diet, your habits, your home. Pay attention to this. This could be a call from Taurus. It could be this energy shift in Uranus, but make sure that you don't do it in a way that isn't centered, that isn't really who you are, that you don't make a change that you can't undo because there's going to be a sudden energy burst and maybe you make a complete 360 on something. So just be careful. Pay attention to your body, what your body is telling you you need to do, but always be a little cautious and be wary when you do too much at once or too radical of a change like overnight. You need balance and peace as well because that will leave you a little unbalanced in a different way. Other Taurus themes that are going to activate like as this happens, right? Activate in real time. Like it's really like now, financial and material life. And really thinking about shifts in what you value or you tolerate. So you may value something, but you've been tolerating less than what you really value. And so where do you need to simplify or change your material life to feel unburdened, to feel that you aren't, that you're not being less of what you are. So if you're in a relationship, if you're in a home, if you're in a job, um, and you're not fully fulfilled or satisfied, if you're like tolerating it, you might want to start journaling as to where that is, what those options are, what you might be able to do to change that. That's Taurian themes, right? Taurus is about the earth. And then collectively, right? So Taurian energy collectively is gonna really intensify. You can expect some big swings in the financial markets, right? Taurus is about money, and so you really can, the bull market, huh? But we can expect to see big swings in the financial markets, innovations, of things of this earth, food, agriculture, land issues, land acquisitions, as well as technology breakthroughs in things material, right? In what we make and how we make things. Some AI breakthroughs and what AI can do, 3D kind of printing, right? That's material stuff. That's, the extent of that may really find and reach other breakthroughs. And so to get to get the most out of this energy, to use it as a gift, make sure those foundations you've built are really strong and solid and that you know who you are, you know what you need to do, you understand you may have been stuck or feeling trapped, and you acknowledge it and acknowledge that you want to work on moving away from that. As the financial markets may swing, as you look at your financial position, you want to make sure you call upon reliable financial advisors if needed. If you feel that you're not as well positioned as you should be, ask others who may have financial advisors that have done really well for them. Do some research. Don't take the advice of someone right off the internet or a person like me who is not a financial planner or financial advisor. I have experts I go to, to make sure that I've got my bases covered. So really make sure this is actually a really good time while between now and April 25th to find a good financial advisor if you don't already have one. And it's not a matter of how much money you have or don't have. It's just knowing who you can go to ask questions as to what you should be doing, no matter how small you can actually afford to do. And I think the last thing when it comes to material things, food, agriculture, land, those kinds of things, try not to get caught up in the media hype. When things go south, even if and or when things go up and down, volatility, that is when the media takes over. Back in the 70s, there was a song by Glenn Frey called Dirty Laundry. And it's never been more appropriate than in modern day world where the media takes something that has happened or someone that has done wrong and then blows it all up. So be very careful about how you are reacting. Be very careful about what media you are watching, and you don't only get like one point of view, and really tap into your knowingness, because as these shifts, and particularly when it comes to finances, that's when you're going to hear all kinds of things, and you're going to want to be solid in your own foundation, in what you have, who you are, and where you need to be. Now, given that this is Taurus, we are talking Archangel Shamuel. And Archangel Shamuel, if you can notice the drawing I have of him, he's green with a little pink. He's sort of the heart chakra, right? Green with pink tinge. And that's because he's heart-centered healing. He is compassion. He is peace. He is harmony. He is unconditional love. And finding what you need, finding what is lost, finding what you feel is missing, including purpose and it just, if you need something to fulfill yourself spiritually or materially, he is the finder of those kinds of things. And so he is calm, he is quiet, he is stability. So as we go through these shifts in the brief time, right? We're talking from now until end of April. So we're really talking 3 months, right? February, March, April. You may want to reach out to Archangel Shamuel to help bring you peace, to help make sure that you're not reacting in a way that is not healthy, that you identify your self-worth, your foundations, that what you have built is good and calm and stable. And to that end, I have written out a prayer to Archangel Shamuel for this Uranus and Taurus season. If you feel like you need a little extra help from him, a little extra guidance, if you're feeling a little wonky, I encourage you to pause the video at this time and take a picture of this so that you have it, and you can reach out to him when you need him, because Archangel Shamuel is all things Taurian. Now, some of you are going to feel this a little more deeper than others. If you are Taurus, high Taurus, rising signs, moon, you may feel this better, higher than others. Depending on where your Uranus sits in your track, you may feel it a little differently. In your chart, rather, you may feel it a little differently as well. If you need personal guidance, if you don't know where these things are in your chart, want some understanding of that, please reach out. Those are all services that I can help you with. I will be coming to you very shortly with more video extras as we have planets moving into Pisces. We've got an eclipse coming. We've got a retrograde coming. There's a lot of energy changes in February. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on your notifications so you know when the next video is landing. Until then, Be blessed and at peace. Goodbye for now.